Okay, this morning we're finishing up Dante's Paradise. We have Canto 33. This was nice, though. I, of course, split it into two different translations. The first translation was kind of hard to read. I find the Ciardi nice, but kind of, at times, the language doesn't live as well as the Sayer did, which I read for Purgatorio, and definitely not as live as the one I read for Inferno, though that one maybe is too alive. It depends on your taste, right? But this is a nice one. So finally finishing up the Paradise. I read the Inferno a couple times, right, and never continued on. So much more to it, right? It's like this whole life view expressed through poem. Okay, Canto 33, Saint Bernard, Prayer to the Virgin, the Vision of God. Virgin Mother, daughter of thy Son, humble beyond all creatures and more exalted, predestined turning point of God's intention. Thy merit so ennobled human nature that its divine Creator did not scorn to make himself the creature of his creature. So that was creature of his creature, right? Born of a human. Okay. The love that was rekindled in thy womb sends forth the warmth of the eternal peace, within whose rays this flower is come to bloom. Here, to us, thou art the noon and scope of love revealed, and among mortal men the living fountain of eternal hope. Lady, thou art so near God's reckonings, that who seeks grace and does not first seek thee would have his wish fly upward without wings. Not only does thy sweet benignity flow out to all who beg, but oftentimes thy charity arise before the plea. In thee is pity, in thee munificence, in thee the tenderest heart, in the three unities that all creation knows of excellence. Now comes this man who from the final pit of the universe up to this height has seen, one by one, the three lives of the Spirit. He prays to thee in fervent supplication for grace and strength, that he may raise his eyes to the all-healing final revelation. And I, who never more desire to see the vision myself than I do that he may see it, add my own prayer, and pray that it may be enough to move you to dispel the trace of every mortal shadow by thy prayers, and let him see revealed the sum of grace. I pray thee further, all persuading Queen, keep whole the natural bent of his affections, and of his power after the eye is seen. Protect him from the stirrings of man's clay. See how Beatrice and the most blessed host clasp reverent hands to join me as I pray. The eyes that God reveres and loves the best glowed on the speaker, making clear the joy with which true prayer is heard by the most blessed. Those eyes turned then to the eternal ray, through which we must indeed believe the eyes of others do not find such ready way. And I, who neared the goal of all my nature, felt my soul, at the climax of its yearning, suddenly, as it ought, grow calm with rapture. Bernard then, smiling sweetly, gestured to me to look up, but I had already become within myself all he would have me be. Little by little, as my vision grew, it penetrated further through the aura of the high lamp, which in itself is true. What, then, I saw is more than the tongue can say. Our human speech is dark before the vision. The ravished memory swoons and falls away. As one who sees in dreams and wakes to find the emotional impressions of the vision still powerful while its parts fade from his mind. Just such am I, having lost nearly all the vision itself, while in my heart I feel the sweetness of it yet distill and fall. So in the sun the footprints fade from snow. On the wild wind that bore the tumbling leaves, the Sibyl's oracles were scattered so. O light supreme, who doth thyself withdraw from so far above man's mortal understanding, lend me again some glimpse of what I saw. Make thou my tongue so eloquent it may of all thy glory speak a single clue to those who follow me in the world's day. For by returning to my memory somewhat sounding in these verses, thou shalt show man more of thy victory. So dazzling was the splendor of that ray that I must certainly have lost my senses had I but for one instant turned away. And so it was, as I recall, I could the better bear to look until at last my vision made one with the eternal good. O grace abounding, that had made me fit to fix my eyes on the eternal light until my vision was consumed in it. I saw within its depth how it conceives all things in a single volume bound by love, of which the universe is the scattered leaves, substance, accident, and their relation, so fused that all I could do no more than yield a glimpse of that bright revelation. I think I saw the universal form that binds these things, for as I speak these words I feel my joy swell and my spirit warm. 25 centuries since Neptune saw the Argo's keel have not moved all mankind recalling that adventure to such awe as I felt in an instant. My tranced being stared, fixed and motionless, upon the vision, ever more fervent to see in the act of seeing. Experiencing the radiance, the spirit is so withdrawn, it is impossible even to think of ever turning from it. For the good, which is the will's ultimate object, is all subsumed in it, and being removed, all is defective in it, which in it is perfect. Now in my recollection of the rest, I have less power to speak than any infant wetting its tongue yet as its mother's breast, and not because that living radiance bore more than one semblance, for it is unchanging and is forever as it was before. Rather, as I grew worthier to see, the more I look, the more unchanging semblance appeared to change with every changing in me. Within the depthless deep and clear existence of the abyss of light, 3 circles shone, 3 in color, 1 in circumference, and second from the first, rainbow from rainbow, the third an exhalation of pure fire, equally breathed forth by the other 2. But oh, how much my words miss my conception, which is itself so far from what I saw that to call it feeble would be rank deception. O light eternal, fixed in itself alone, by itself alone understood, which from itself loves and glows, self-knowing and self-known. That second aureola, which shone forth in thee, conceived as a reflection of the first, or which appeared to my scrutiny, seemed in itself and its own coloration to be painted with the man's image. I fixed my eyes on that alone in rapturous contemplation, like a geometer, wholly dedicated to squaring the circle but who cannot find, think as he may, the principle indicated. So did my study of the supernal face. I yearned to know just how our image merges into that circle and how it there finds place. But mine were not the wings for such a flight, yet as I wished, the truth I wished for came cleaving my mind in a great flash of light. Here, my powers rest from their high fantasy, but already I could feel my being turn, instinct and intellect balanced equally, as in a wheel, whose motion nothing jars, by love that moved the sun and the other stars. There we go. Fine, right? Finished. What a wonderful thing to complete a reading aloud of the full Divine Comedy. Have a blessed day.